Hello, boys and ghouls. Welcome once again to some more holiday hijinks for the month of October, where we are delving into yet another of the spooktacular films of the classic era. And I wanted to delve into a little something different this week. Uh, Rather than delving into more of the Hammer horror, I wanted to talk about a little bit of something more American made, something with a couple of legendary names in the dawn of in the age of cinema. So I wanted to grab something combining the names of Roger Corman, Vincent Price, and Edgar Allan Poe for this week's movie, The Pit and the Pendulum. But of course, I won't be delving this by myself. No. Swinging in is going to be, of course, my good friend Jace. Hello there.
And hello. How are you, man?
I am doing just fine. It
Yeah.
has been a
Sorcerer
pretty long.
Supreme.
Oh, right.
You still have
Yeah.
boomer mode.
Oh, right. You mean I'm
No.
actually supposed to keep updating those with the shows? No.
It's like me when I was streaming the game yesterday. I had so many boomer modes. Boomer. Yeah, I was such a fucking boomer. But yeah, either way, hello everyone. It's fun to be here, and this was my first time watching the movie today.
Hello
Boomer.
there.
Hey, brightest day. Hail to
It's
you.
Monday. Guys, don't worry. I'm getting all the kinks worked out for tomorrow. Well, hopefully there won't be any boomer moments tomorrow. Of
Boomer moments are always fun.
course, they make the show fun.
They always do.
Yep, it's like that. It's part of the interactive audience bit. But yeah, I got you to go sit down and watch how old is this movie? What, 60 years? Let's see, 61.
9.
A 60-year-old movie.
Yeah, it came out in 1961.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're of course talking about The Pit and the Pendulum, which was a Roger Corman film, as I was explaining a little bit of the build up, as
Yep.
one of what became a series of adaptations that Edgar Allan or that Roger Corman had done of Poe films, with other noble ones such as The Raven, The House of Rue Morgue.
So Roger had made more movies into Edgar Allan Poe's books and short stories.
Oh yeah. Well, although one of those was actually based on a Lovecraft story.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Brandon, let's go. Which I think almost all of those had Vincent Price in them, even, which is for my own personal taste is one of my favorite actors of all time. The man who which Doctor Strange is based after.
Yeah, that is cool. Let's go, Brandon. When we have the Crow stream,
Mm-hmm.
that would have been a good start of the stream. Let's go, Brandon, because Brandon Lee.
Hey, you're right.
Yeah, and I'm actually gonna for that day. I would just want to say I am actually working on an intro, something big for the Crow and Brandon Lee, so you actually can use intro.
Oh, yeah, I should probably learn to make another intro again.
And I'm always here if you need some help because I really want to do it. I really want to do edits again for people. I kind of miss it, so.
Oh, excuse. Oh, wow. Yeah. So, of course, we're talking about Vincent Price and The Pit and the Pendulum.
I can hear a phone.
Yeah. What? And I hang up. I don't know who it was. But
Good one.
how dare they call me during my show? How dare you?
You're fired. But yeah, the movie.
Yeah. So the story was honestly came from is like almost nothing like the original story itself. That the story the actual story the actual story itself is around the torture device, where with our narrator strapped
Did
to
they do a
the
remake of this?
yes, there's been a couple of different attempts at some of the Poe films,
Ah,
but this story is by and large a original story from basically the ground up, with only really the third act really tying into the original story.
hmm.
Which, God, I freaking oh well, there's the wiki. I freaking love these old posters of these.
Oh, it looks so nice. I feel like a lot of older posters are always better.
Yeah, it's
It,
like it's from the fact that they were all actually hand painted.
yeah, and you can feel the soul in the paintings. You feel the paintings, and you feel it so much better than what you do now these days because it has soul, and that's what I'm all about. And that is soul in
Mm-hmm.
craft what
And
people are making.
what's not to enjoy here? You got that mix of the sexuality of the woman on the staircase
Mm,
there, the terror of the man down below. You're mixing those kind of opposites,
yeah,
these intense emotions to convey a message and to demand your attention here. I think it's a beautiful poster.
it really is.
So what so to kind of talk a little bit about it, is this a movie you had ever heard of before?
I have heard about it, but I've never seen it or read the story.
Okay.
I've only like seen, I've seen, you have like, for example, Family Guy and other stuff. You've seen like some parts like they're parodying the
A little bit
movie.
of a little bit of the
Yeah,
cultural zeitgeist. You sort of
yeah,
pick little things up, but you
yeah,
don't have the fuller context. Like,
yeah.
sleepaway camp.
Oh, I love Sleepaway Camp. God fucking damn it. We have to do that one time, dude. I want to talk about that one day.
Oh, I always think it's funny because I was sitting down on the couch with someone one day, and I was telling them like, "Oh, Sleepaway Camp is this famous movie because of its twist." And I'm
Yeah.
flipping through the channels, and I happen to come right across it, right at the twist.
Yeah, that the fucking ending, and
Like,
I'm just gonna say, like, the two sequels were pretty funny. They were just fun movies. The last one we don't talk about.
yeah, we'll get to that point, and if whenever we get whenever we get around
Yes,
to a actual story about Sleepaway
yes,
Camp, but
yes. But let's
yeah,
continue with
to
this.
delve into this a little bit, uh, I've got a little bit of the plot up. It's around an Englishman who's going to visit his brother-in-law to find out about the mysterious circumstances around the death of his sister,
Yep.
where he finds out that things are not as they appeared, that he was not being told the truth of things that had happened.
Yep.
And of
It is
course
kind of a
Mhm.
it is, it's kind of a little bit of a thriller in a way, a mystery, a thriller in that kind of sort of way. And I really like that with the movie because it really, well, for me, the movie was really predictable with, a lot of things, even though I haven't like seen the story, but I really like the vibe of, the mystery and the thrillerish feels about the movie.
Oh, yeah, this is trying to change some photos up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you had the brother-in-law, the husband of the missing sister, was of course played by Vincent Price,
Yes.
who is just a man who you see him on film, your eyes are just drawn to him. He has the man has that natural charisma to him,
Yeah,
where
he does.
he delved into the melodramatic and the misery of life more often than not with his roles.
Yeah. Oh, that is true. And I like him as an actor. He's, he has that charm. He's like a really unique person.
Let's try to find a couple good photos here. Oh, that is a beautiful poster. Holy cow.
Yeah, that is.
I can just get distracted looking at.
No, but dude, that is understandable, man. And he actually became really old before he
Oh, I
died.
did this 3 times now.
Actually,
What was that?
he actually became pretty old before he died.
Oh yeah,
82
he
years.
got up there. Like he made it to like the early to mid 90s. If I don't.
Yeah, he died in 1993.
Yeah, I mean Vincent Price is one of those long standing actors who's been
Yeah.
all around in so many things from the House of Wax, The Fly.
And he was
Uh,
also the one who did a monologue on the Michael Jackson song Thriller.
yep, and that's largely one of the things that Vincent Price is probably, I would say, best known for today in 2021. It's for most normal audiences, I think that's generally what people are going to think of if Vincent Price were ever come up is, oh, you mean the guy who the voice from the end of the Halloween song?
Yeah, and but people still seem to forget that he also played in the old Batman series as Egghead.
Yes. Oh, I forgot about that. Vincent Price
Yeah,
did play.
yeah, he did play Egghead. So since we are talking a little bit about the actor himself too, because I think that's also a little bit important when we're going to talk about a movie with actors. And oh, I remember this.
Oh.
He is just the king of playing special characters.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was also he also played the father in or the scientist, the father figure for in Edward Scissorhands.
Yes, in Tim Burton's Edward Scissorhands. It's one of them. I love that movie too, and he does really great work there too. And he also played. Didn't he also play in the Ten
Commandments.
Commandments? Yes, if I don't remember wrong.
Oh, that is a great photo.
He looks really tall, to be honest. He looks like a
I
really
wouldn't
tall person.
I wouldn't be surprised to find out if he was like actually really tall. So yeah, to get back to the pendulum a little bit. Uh, he saw Vincent Price's character was the son of one of the more prominent inquisitors from the Spanish Inquisition,
Yep.
and his home being a castle from which many of the more macabre, gruesome, inquisitional punishments had been doled
Oh
out.
yeah, that's so true.
And it's like part of the story is that there's a sort of air of the evil of all those acts is upon the house, or
Yes,
so it seems.
it seems, but there are secrets. There's a lot of secrets in that castle.
Yep, secret passages and things that aren't as they appear.
Yep.
So I'm sorry, I just like and whatever role he is, he's Vincent Price.
Yes. God damn, I have a fly in here. I'm just trying to kill it. God damn it! Just sorry for being quiet. That fly irritated me.
So, as the story went, uh, Vincent Price, or rather, Nicholas Medina, it was his character was.
Yeah.
His wife had died of a shock upon being haunted by visions of the spirits of the castle.
Yeah. That's kind of what happens in a sense.
And over the next few days from there, Nicholas is haunted by the spirits of his deceased wife.
Yes.
Where in the middle of the night they hear her harpsichord playing. The 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 items and clothing, the paintings upon her bedroom walls have been slashed and destroyed.
Yep.
And they're slowly driving him. It's slowly driving Nicholas crazy, playing upon one of his biggest fears from his childhood.
Yep. And also, may I just continue before I say more?
That kind of playing into a traumatic moment from his childhood, where Nicholas was witness to his father gruesomely torturing and murdering his mother and her lover.
Yep. And that, gives him a really hardcore PTSD, we can say it in a mild sense.
I mean, it's the sort of subject matter that just is. I think it's treated so well, where you don't necessarily see everything that happens, but you can easily see yourself understanding the sort of trauma and impact this has on the man.
Yep.
So much so that it leads to Vincent Price needing to have them go and dig up the remains of his wife to make sure that they didn't bury her alive like his own mother had been.
Yeah. And when they also, open one of the things there and you see the body, decayed body, and he freaks the fuck out.
Oh my god! It is such a great reveal for that. Though, to be fair, the body for only 6 months deceased is pretty. It's a lot more deformed and decayed than you would expect.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't really.
And we also have to mention that. Let's see here. He also talked about upon the death. It was a name that the person, that woman, said to him
Was the name of his father.
Yep, Sebastian. And it's your show if you want to talk more. I don't know
I'm just kind of trying to put a couple of thoughts together. I'm not quite sure how to proceed, because I don't want to just rattle off the entire plot. But I still love this movie. This was a movie that I suppose I should for kind of my origin with it was one of these films I had seen in school that I had seen.
Really?
Oh yeah, because the school curriculum was big on trying to expose students to Edgar Allan Poe, and so it was like, oh yeah, we'll just grab these old adaptations of Poe movies.
Most of the things that I saw in school was just Home Alone and Titanic. And
trust me, we watched some of those. I think we
watched them basically
Titanic
every year, every month, basically.
God, yeah. And then for us, we had to watch Charlie and the Chocolate Factory so many times. Or no, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
Like, okay, it's okay, but
Don't
come
do
on,
it too
something else.
often. No, but I'm jealous that you guys got to see movies like this in school. I would love to see stuff like this in school.
Yeah, and I want to take a film class at one point, so so I would get to be exposed to more movies.
Yeah, that makes more sense too.
At one point we're doing a history, or we're doing a lesson about like the 70s kung fu movies, and so they start showing us like some Chuck Norris film.
Oh, Chuck Norris
And this
his
was like
movies were not great.
And this was like right about the same time where Chuck Norris facts were becoming a thing.
Oh, with one kick, he would save the world.
Yeah. Or things like Chuck Norris's tears could cure cancer. Too bad Chuck Norris never cries. So I'm in the back of this classroom with some of my other friends, and we're just like kind of telling jokes to one another, try not to get caught.
Yeah. No, but one thing I want to say about this movie, to be that old, I think it's really well produced. I think it's pretty well edited. I think it was pretty decently made to that time.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was as I understand, it was like a really small budget, but it had a really big return for what they wanted spending on it. So this was quite a profitable movie.
Yeah, I sent you in the private chat the budget that I have. That
oh yep, that's what I've come across, and
yeah,
as I was kind of reading through some interviews, Roger Corman was saying they basically, for about as you were saying, it's like a $300,000 budget, and box office wise, about $2 million when it was running in the 60s. So that's got to be.
Didn't the movie also, they called it like a really B movie?
Well, Roger Corman is the king of B movies.
Like, I'm gonna say this: a lot of B movies are actually better than A movies. A lot of times.
Well, because I don't think that there's a whole lot of expectations were necessarily put on them to do well, and then you wind up getting a real surprise out of it where no one had expected it to do as well as it did.
No, that is so true. That's why I when I was younger, I really loved a lot of B movies more than what you see in the cinema. I was like, I love B movies.
Oh, absolutely. Also, because they're usually the other benefit is they usually wind up not costing a whole lot to be able to rent or put into syndication. Well, so it'd be easy to come across them on TV.
Yeah, it's like I also like a little bit C movies, like The Room.
Oh, I still haven't seen that.
Oh, you have to see it, man. It's funny. One day I really want to try to get Tommy Wiseau on my channel. If I ever get that chance, I really want to try one day.
I was kind of coming across on IMDb where I think it's really cool to see some of these marquees where they might go to the extra mile with this.
Oh man, it looks so nice when they had like the old stuff like that. And you have the name of the movies. That's like the headline of the movies, and it's like, oh, why can't cinema go back to being this amazing?
Swinging.
Why can't cinema go back to being this unique?
It was also part of a really innovative era of cinema where your budgets were at most might be about $2 million for some of the more higher end stuff.
Yeah. Shall we continue more of the story, or what do you want to do? This is your show.
Yeah, we can delve into a little bit more of it.
We are just two people today, so we're trying to just find the vibe, how to do this, and get a hold of this, But being organic and being a little bit boomers, I think that's the best way to go, because people can just
Actually, going back with this because I really like the look of the the
Oh,
pendulum and
okay. I'm gonna say in that scene, my heart started to race because I'm just thinking about the pain of getting sliced in two with that thing.
so we'll kind of hurry up to the end a little bit. So as all the hauntings continue on, you come to discover that Elizabeth, his wife, is actually alive. That she's been alive this whole time, and that her and the doctor had faked her death to try to drive him crazy. And it's like, oh, I never saw that. I didn't see that coming.
Mm. No, I had a feeling when I watched the movie because, well, it's just, I love movies and, this is my thing when it comes to movies. I kind of, just figure it out before it happens because I'm just thinking about how would this story go? How would this go? And what would it make more sense? But even though that it was a little bit too predictable for, oh my God, predictable for me, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed and I'm just thinking about back in the day when people, didn't have expectations and all that stuff. And they're like, just, wow, really? They did that. You get that the big shocker. And it's like, fuck. So,
Yeah, I mean, I guess like when they do get to the point of actually having the pendulum in motion, like they were trying things to play with the speed of the camera settings and trying things to really try to ratchet up the tension. Like I think they got to the point where they were removing removing frames from the video,
mm,
so it actually seems faster. The tension is building higher.
yeah. And to be honest, there's actually no hunting going on in the movie because everything that's going on with him and, and stuff like
It's
that.
all easily dismissible. It's like no, they were trying to mess with him just to drive him crazy.
Yeah, and the same thing, they really like because he has this PTSD from his childhood and he already has, a lot of traumatic events in his life because of that. And that can really mess your head up. So the thing that they're doing with messing with his mind when you have the PTSD that he has after watching his dad, you know, killing the mother and everything like that. And it's understandable why he goes nuts.
And they've driven him crazy enough that as he's been rendered into basically an invalid for because I guess I believe that was the word they used in the movie that they basically shattered his mind
Yeah.
and were mocking him, just poking him and
Oh yeah.
teasing him that how to believe your mother was an adulterer, your wife is an adulterer, your
Yeah.
best friend the doctor is an adulterer, and it's pushing him back to the familiar environments of his childhood, where
Hmm.
he's being forced to be exposed to these things, and the only thing he knows to do, the only thing his mind is able to do, is to effectively take on the persona of his father,
Yeah.
where he starts reenacting what his father had said and done.
In a way, he becomes his father, Sebastian. He basically just becomes his father at that point. Nicholas is gone. He's not Nicholas
Mhm.
anymore. Nicholas is. You can kind of describe it in this way. At that point in a movie, Nicholas just died in the head, like two personalities. That personality of Nicholas just disappeared and died. And then in the last moments, he was his father. And yeah, that's how
Oh,
you
there
can
we go.
like look at it.
Oh, this is a really good photo here, where you get to see the
Yeah.
the way the set is painted up with
Oh
all the
yeah.
haunting figures on the wall.
Yeah. It is so goddamn great, and goddamn, I miss people having more creative ideas and more soul into the movies and passion in the movies.
Well, also, oh god, even like down to just the color. Like I think the color comes across better in these older movies than a lot of modern stuff.
Yeah, because it is more colors. Like, yeah, if you come like Zack Snyder, it's like all dark, 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 and that's
Or the
and
Eternals.
yeah, like the internals should have been more colorful and stuff like that. And but the trend
Yeah,
has
it's
been
based on a
just be
Jack
dark.
Kirby characters. It
Yeah,
should all be like it should be like
color.
a hippie threw up on a page.
Yeah, no, and that's what I like with this movie too, and other old movies is the coloring is so amazing and it looks better. And like, yes, I do like dark movies, but it doesn't fit every movie. And when it gets too dark on the on the screen, it kind of kills the mood a little bit because it's just dark and grim. It's like, yeah, there's like not much to watch with the colors, and the color in this scene in the movie and the paintings and everything, it is amazing. It draws you in.
Right, and it's all about building up that tension, building the terror.
Yeah,
Where it doesn't have to do a whole lot in the way of blood and gore. No, at this point you're in the movie. From the box cover, like you're gonna
yeah,
get someone
yeah,
with a big axe slowly coming down across their chest.
yeah. And what I also like in that scene is that they don't focus. It's not like movies these days, like everything's gonna be blood, blood, blood. Because one thing you also can say is that you don't always need blood to make an interesting story, and gore and blood to make an interesting story. Look, if people haven't watched this movie, or if you have, no matter what, but if you see this movie, you see not much blood, but it works because you don't need all that blood and Saw style in movies to make them interesting.
Right. This was effectively Saw from the '60s.
Yeah, in a way, it was just better.
Oh God, it is so good, especially with how the sister, Vincent Price's wife is she gets her come up at the end of the film.
Yeah, it is
Oh, but
amazing.
this is
You're
this
just
is
getting in love with the picture.
mhm.
Yeah, but that is understandable. Oh, just look at that. Just look. It's so beautiful how it's made. It's so great.
There's
The
all the
weird thing is that he fits the suit. Like
yeah
it really fits him. Like,
yeah he's got that kind of face that just really it needs to be on film.
yes, it's just so great. But I never knew that this was a movie that had, this style. That is so. When I saw that, I was like, oh right, now I know the character. Right, I've seen so much peer parodies and stuff like that. It's like, right,
But so yeah, all of that buildup, everything that we were kind of explaining with
yeah,
the story of his character and the trauma of his childhood and all this, that's not in the original Edgar Allan Poe story. That's all something they had to
really,
create for this film. Yeah.
really. I actually did not know that because I haven't read the book, but and I don't know anything about it. That is interesting. Well, then I have to say they actually did a pretty good job adding more into the movie, just to the story and stuff.
Let's see if I can figure out like how long that actual story is. Because yeah, the actual short story is, as I understand it, about someone who is trapped under this pendulum and has to like figure out a way to cause himself to escape.
Oh, really?
Where yeah, he winds up using like a little bit of food that's just within his reach to get some rats to chew through the ropes.
Hmm. Interesting. It's actually pretty interesting.
But I mean, the just to grab this here. This is like some art for the actual that I guess is tied with some of the earlier printings, where
Uh-huh.
the blade is a lot less impressive.
That looks like a disc.
Yeah. Oh no, my AO! You're gonna attack me with an AOL disc?
Oh my, I'm so scared.
No.
Uh,
Dial up is scary enough.
I'm not scared of dying with this thing. It's
No, no, no.
that's actually pretty decent. Even though it's not impressive with the swing thing, but everything else is pretty cool. I do enjoy it. It's really well made. Otherwise,
Yeah, apparently the cat seems to like it too.
no, but what did you think stand out with this movie? What did you really enjoy? Like, what's your favorite, like, that stand out most for you? That really
Oh,
draws you into the movie?
it's always got to be Vincent Price. I mean,
Okay, other than him, other than him, is there anything?
so like I was in a way, I'm kind of surprised that there really wasn't anything truly like supernatural to the film. There's no like the truly the spirit of all the victims of the Inquisition are causing chaos on their minds and
Mm,
are causing Vincent Price to feel to pay for the sins of his father. It's like
yeah,
none of that. No, it's a simple like it's a much simpler story than that.
yeah. So like I said, sometimes simple stories can be really enjoyable when you do it the right way, and you're not trying too hard to be something you're not. And they did it in this movie. They didn't try hard to be something. It came naturally. And as you told me, like, they added so much into the story too. It was natural. It just felt natural. It's just like, it is fun. It's good. It is a masterpiece in my opinion. In I think it's a yeah. You know what? I would consider it one of the masterpieces I've actually seen. Is it one of my favorite movies? Oh, it's not, but other than that, I think it still is a masterpiece on the way it's made.
So what? So now that I've now gotten you to check out three of these films: the Curse of Frankenstein, the Horror of Dracula, and the Pit and the Pendulum.
Yeah.
I mean, generally speaking, what are your thoughts about this era of cinema? So,
Um.
I see that those three actors, your Peter Cushing, your Vincent Price, and your Peter Cushing, Vincent Price, and Christopher Lee
Yeah.
are
No.
like this part of this like godfathers of horror in a way.
Yeah. It's like my dad has, he has shown me a lot of old movies like this, but I was really young to not remember all of them. Because my dad, he used to love horror. He doesn't love horror anymore, or movies in general that has this fling to it anymore, because all the new movies now is the same, nothing
Just
new.
glorified torture porn.
Yeah. um no, for me, who is a little bit younger than most people, I'm 26. Um and I have a good clips from the birthday stream that I'm gonna make a video of, thanks to Mr. Ironcaster himself. uh
I don't know what you're talking about.
But no, for me, my favorite movies when it comes to stuff and horror and Frankenstein and Dracula stuff, of course, they will always be in the era with Friday 13 and all that stuff, because that was like my time of growing up and what I just fell in love with. But experiencing now more of the old stuff that I've always wanted to like experience, but I've like never taken the time to, because I'm lazy and I watch so much other stuff, and I was afraid not liking them. But after you invited me on this show and actually made me watch more of these movies, I highly enjoy them. I the It's the acting, it's the actors, it's the writing, it's there's so many things that it is so much different. It's like, I feel like this is the golden age of these
And I
types of
mean, for
movies.
many do call this era this like 2020 really that 50s and 60s is sort of a golden age of Hollywood, where you had a lot of people that had come back from war and had
Yeah.
from World War II, and we're starting to and have now had a chance to see the world and explore a bit more. So
Yeah.
it really like grew this intense like era of cinema, because I mean about the same time you started getting the James Bond films as well.
Yeah.
Actually, when was Doctor No? Which was 62. So it was a year after this film.
Yeah. But I have to say one of my favorite of the three movies that I have seen. This is gonna be third on the list,
Okay.
and then I think Frankenstein is gonna be the second, and then Dracula is gonna be the first of at least these three movies.
So for my own personal taste in these, I think personally I would probably put the Doctor Frankenstein is probably the first of the three, because I think that Peter Cushing is just so compelling in that movie that that I just cannot.
That is actually a fair point when it comes to Peter Cushing.
Mhm.
That's a really fair point.
And this is a really this is a good story, but you know the way how you know how it's trying to build up, what it's specifically trying to build up to with that third act,
Yeah,
that I don't think works quite as well as the tension building of Peter Cushing playing this villainous doctor who will stop at
yeah.
nothing,
No, that
who
I do
I
agree on.
believe would take my arm if he thought it would he thought it would suit his purposes
Yeah.
more.
No, I do understand, and I do agree on that.
Whereas I think the Dracula movie just is not as good.
It's for me the reason is because for one thing, I'm gonna say it again. Christopher Lee and Peter
Mm.
Cushing are just so fucking hot in that movie, so I just have to I'll be honest about that. And it's also because I'm in love with vampires and vampire stories, so that is I think is my reason why it's on the top. But the acting and the story wise, if I'm like just gonna do that, yeah, Frankenstein was better, a lot better to so many things, but it's still gonna be on the second place because I'm way too much fan of vampires and stuff.
Let's see if we can't sway your opinion with young Vincent Price.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Why is it's a good thing that I'm bisexual. If I wasn't bisexual, you have Peter Cushing, you have Christopher Lee and Vincent. That they would have turned me bisexual in a day if I was straight. Wh- one cool thing too is that mm, these actors they have a different charm than what Hollywood has now. This is like more of the classic manly men that you just like you get respect for. You just feel a lot of respect for these actors.
Well, I mean, they were. It was also the kind of that age where more often than not these men were world traveled, that they had a whole life experience. It's kind of like how a lot of writers in that from earlier eras have been very seasoned, that they've gone and
Mm,
lived lives. Robert E. Howard, for example, was very big on. He was a big into boxing and like I
ooh,
think cattle ranching and cow
yeah.
herding. It's
Well,
like
that is so great.
like he he was a guy who knew about these things, so he would know how to write about them. He didn't just read about it in a book somewhere and then pretended to know.
Yeah, like a lot of Hollywood today. So they were actually smarter in the old age and the golden age, I would say, the good golden age of older movies like this. More experience, understand life more, and actually know what they're doing when they are making films. And that is something. If any new writers that are watching this or will watch this later on, maybe you should sit down, watch some old movies with Vincent, Christopher Lee, and all the other writers and producers at this era, and take some notes and actually try to understand writing and production and things a lot more like they did. And then I'm gonna say, if people that are watching this and will watch this later on do that, I promise you, it's gonna be greater movies. Maybe, of course, you will always have haters that won't like it because you don't do what Hollywood wants. But you will understand movies so much better and get a better feel in the movie world.
Yeah, I mean, just because people came from an earlier age or from an earlier time doesn't necessarily mean that they were dumb. It's like no, they were a lot of people who work with their hands. I mean, Vincent
Yeah.
Price here was a oh really cat. It was a something of a classically trained actor who's
Yeah,
also a gourmet cook apparently
he was. Oh shit.
with
That's more
multiple
impressive.
cookbooks under his belt.
Really?
I will have to look those up.
Dude, I want to buy those books.
Shouldn't be too hard to find them now, especially
That's true, it's true.
that he was also big into art collecting. It's a bit of a sophistication to the man,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
but I
he
think
he he played in Catch Fire also.
really now.
Oh, yeah. I'm just getting really surprised now because like things I've seen and I didn't know that he's been in. That's cool. I like Vincent. He's been in a lot of great movies and but no, yeah, a little bit before we end or anything, like a little bit of the story too is the fun thing about especially the ending um of the movie is you know he dies, of course, and the whole climax with him, getting thrown over the edge. It
The
was actually
Pit.
the pit, yeah, at the edge of the pit, and actually, I think that was pretty well made. It actually looked like they were struggling a little bit. It looks kind of a little bit real compared to other stuff I've seen, and it was really well made. And I really like that. It was a great way to end his story arc, and they get to save Francis. He doesn't die. He survives because they save him. That's good. Uh, but the
Which
fun thing is when they slam the door and stuff. The last thing you hear in the movie is Elizabeth is still alive and she's trapped in the Iron Maiden.
as they're saying, no one will ever enter this place again. Meanwhile, her
Yep.
brother still believes she's dead.
Yeah. And that is really sad for her arc.
Oh, they made an honest woman out of her in the end.
Yes. No, but I'm gonna say people, if you haven't seen this movie, fucking go and watch it. Even if we have spoiled some things, it's still worth watching it because it's an old movie. It's still a movie that's worth watching.
Oh, it is so good. It's a lot of fun. I was fortunate enough. I was fortunate enough to get the one of the Vincent Price collections from Shout Factory, and this is
Really,
this is on this is on there with that.
that is impressive.
Yeah, I guess there are a total of like four of those or three of those, but one of them is just so insanely expensive that I can't find it for less than $100.
Shit, that's insane.
Whereas the other ones, oh yeah, I could buy those straight from Shout Factory for like $30.
Yeah. No, but I'm happy that you have helped me to like push my ass to actually watch this movies. It also
Well,
one
there
thing
are
that
there
you
are a few more of them out there. Like one of the other ones I was thinking about checking out was quite possibly going to be uh was the wax museum. There was like one about the wax museum
oh
that has Charles Bronson in it,
really
which
no
is
that I want to check that out too. And I was what I was also gonna say is that the thing that when you like pushed me a little bit to like because you wanted me on the show and invited me, and I kind of felt got a little bit pushed like I have to watch them now. Another thing that you also helped me with is because I'm a screenwriter, I'm an editor, I want to make movies and a lot of stuff like that, and I'm taking a lot of notes on how they're making the movies and what they're doing and stuff, and it helps me with getting inspired. It helps me, getting inspired and everything to be better at editing, story writing, and everything. So I just want to thank you, Ironcaster, for actually make me watch these movies and help me with taking notes from older movies and getting inspired.
Well, I'm happy to help. And one of the things that over the last couple of years is like I haven't been very happy with a lot of like modern entertainment where it's like everything seems to have a bigger political agenda behind it. And it's like, can't we just
Yeah,
tell a fun retelling of a classic
yeah,
short story?
that's also that. I say the same thing. I missed, the old days. You didn't need to think about that. So, that's also a good thing where we go back in the golden age of watching stuff. And it's a good time for everyone to like, go back, watch some old stuff, get away from all this politics and just have fun and watch some old stuff, shut your mind off. And if you want to learn about editing, writing, a lot of old movies will help you.
Oh, I agree. Like I was saying, was trying to say was I've been going back. I've been starting to go listen to some older classic radio stuff like The Shadow or
Yeah.
a little bit of even The Lone Ranger. Like,
Oh yeah, the Lone Ranger. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it's like there's so much there that you could go and enjoy. That so much is also in the public domain. And
Yeah.
it's like things you would normally overlook. That well, not much else good stuff's coming out, but there's plenty of classic stuff I can go and enjoy.
Yep.
And and one of the I think kind of one of the benefits of pandemic era is we've started to entertain each other, and it's given us time to stop and look away from all of the constant drip feeding of new stuff to say, well, wait, that sandwich I got, that sandwich from 2013 is really good. You should give this a try.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, maybe a sandwich analogy isn't a good one for or talk about movies, but you get my point that hey, this is a good
Yes,
movie.
I do.
Come check this out.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you on that one.
Like, there are so many other good movies with Vincent Price in them, like Master of the World, where he's this like crazy billionaire with a big giant dirigible blimp wanting to like go and bomb the world unless they bow down to him.
Oh, nice. No, I'm gonna check out more movies of Vincent and of course Christopher Lee because I love Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing.
Well, I'm happy to have had a chance to share one of my favorite actors. It's like
Yeah.
if someone were to ask me, oh, if you could pick anyone at all to play, Doctor Strange, who would you pick? It's of course going to be Vincent Price.
Yeah, oh my God, yes. Yes. He looks like the character. He looks like him.
Well, Vincent Price was very big on doing all this kind of spooky.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, this is perfect. Actually, oh, get that ad off there. From Bloody Disgusting. Did you know
Oh
that
yeah,
Vincent
Blood
Price?
Disgusting. I love Blood Disgusting.
See, I haven't had a chance to check the website out too much, but I will have
Oh,
to do more of that.
dude, I have done that for years.
So yeah,
Oh
as they're kind of pointing out here, Vincent Price was part of the inspiration for Doctor Strange. I mean,
yeah,
he's always kind of playing these sort of kind of spooky supernatural roles where he was like, he was in a Scooby-Doo cartoon.
yeah.
the 13 Ghost.
Should I make a time machine and go back and make a fucking Doctor Strange movie with him?
Oh God, yeah. Sinister director Scott Derrickson has a massive hit on his hands with Doctor Strange, easily the most wonderfully weird movie that Marvel has released to date. Like Guardians of the Galaxy before it, Doctor Strange is so uniquely its own in the realm of comic book movies, and the Tales of the Surgeon turned heroic sorcerer has been winning over audiences all across the world. It's also the first superhero movie to begin with a beheading, which seems perfect considering the titular character was inspired by a horror icon who rolled a few heads in his day.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, like, and then 2 years after The Pit and the Pendulum here, Doctor Strange.
Yeah. First appeared in the 1963 issue 110 of Strange Tales.
Legendary horror icon played
yes.
a powerful sorcerer in the film The Raven, which is one of the other Poe films.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually watch that. Now, who does this look like?
Well, he's got the cheekbones. It's
Yep. He even had basically the hairline.
And then in the 70s, they brought Scooby-Doo had Vincent Price playing a very Doctor Strange-esque character.
Yes, I remember that. Yes.
Vincent Van Gogh.
Yes, I remember that. I've seen that. Yeah. That was one of the great Scooby-Doo shows.
Oh shit.
Look at that. You know, fuck Benedict Cumberbatch. You suck, dude. You are just a poser. This is the real one.
Although for living actors, Vincent Price isn't the one, or rather, Benedict Cumberbatch still isn't the person I would pick. I would have opted for Aidan Gillian.
Oh, who's that again? Just I didn't remember.
He played Littlefinger on Game of Thrones.
Oh, yes. Oh, I agree with you.
Oh, come on, cat, get down. I got a cat deciding that she wants to get all up in my business.
Yeah, I would pick him too. Yes, I know who you're talking about. I have seen fan arts.
I was watching around the time they was just announced, the Doctor Strange movie had been announced. I was like, Game of Thrones was on, and watching, I was like, Aidan Gillian's perfect for this. He's got the look. He looks like he could be Vincent Price.
Yeah, he does. I was going to mention that. They have a lot of similarities. And oh man, I would have loved to see that. Oh my god, now I'm pissed. Disney, Marvel, get a better cast. Can you try to cast a lot of characters better, please?
Like the only thing Benedict Cumberbatch should be cast to play for Disney is Thrawn.
Yeah.
Like he's already got the really alien cheekbones.
Yeah,
but people are like, no.
In Disney era, I'm happy. But yeah, if they ever was supposed to cast something in Disney, that is what he should have played.
Although I could also see Vincent Price.
Yeah.
Oh no, we're just going back around in circles.
Yes, I'm just going back circles. No, but I do agree. Aidan Gillian would have been perfect pick. He looks like Vincent a lot, and when you think about the acting skills and how they're acting, they are pretty similar in so many levels. When you do think about it.
Oh, I freaking love it. You know, I like to think that there's like a universe out there where all the movies that could have been exist.
Have been made.
Yeah, like it's just like a big giant multi-dimensional cineplex.
And
then you'll just spend all the time in a row watching all the movies that could have been.
Hey, let's just deep fake to see how it would have been. What would have been? Just use some deep fake and just see what it could have been.
So, let's wrap this up a little bit, shall we?
Yeah.
We've been here about an hour. What's coming up? You got anything coming up stream-wise?
Well, I think it was yesterday or the day before, I just released some new merch.
Ooh. Oh, you
Um,
showed me the jacket, didn't you?
yeah, I showed you I made the Chaos hoodie, and that is the hoodie of my character Jace. You know, the character that I protect. I'm kind of online, because I said it many times. Of course, I am not Jace Fox in real life. I'm a totally different person. Like Jace Fox is my character and my stage name because I don't dox my name and stuff. And Jace Fox is like my character from a story that I have been writing and making, and story that I will make at some point. So I released the hoodie, and I really love the hoodie. It's really cool. I am gonna get one myself, so I can actually cosplay my character. um, and no, it's the same old. We have the shows on Thursdays. We still are doing the Thursday shows. I have started with some gaming on the channel. I'm still trying to figure out how to not get the frame bits fucked up and losing frame rates, because yeah, the thing that it worked fine when I did a private stream and test stream. It was like amazing, and then I go live and publicly, and it just like, nope, we're just gonna fuck up your frame rates. I'm just like, that makes no fucking sense. I was live just on private. It's just YouTube in a nutshell sometimes. Twitch is a little bit better when it comes to like quality and streaming. YouTube is a little bit not the best in everything there, but yeah,
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of stuff that's been kind of acting up a little bit lately.
yeah. But yeah, I'm doing some gaming streams. I am actually gonna go through the Batman Telltale games, the first one
Oh,
and the second one. Of course, it's gonna be like my story of Batman, how I want Batman to be, and just trying to experience the story together with viewers and friends, and just have fun. Um, the Monday shows will come back at some point when Claw is done with his room, because he's working on his new room and been working a lot with that. Kingdom of Five is currently not doing streams because of schedule times, but videos are getting released on Kingdom of Five. And no, I'm just working behind the scenes, talking to people, trying to get new interviews with people, and I am actually gonna do some interviews with. I was thinking about doing some interviews with friends, and actually get to know, friends that I work with a little bit better. Who they are, what they're more interested in, and how they, got into YouTube and got into
mm.
comics and story, horror, whatever it is in gaming. Because why not? It's a good opportunity to show more of the people, more of the fellowship of the friends we have with each other, and share our stories, no matter what it is. Just share to have fun. And you can find me on Pop Culture Minefield and on Ironcaster and Comics Divisions when I have time. Um, and I'm open to do editing for people who wants, intros, outros, because I'm bored. I just want something to do. I just want to
That's
edit.
I think that's kind of become one of the fun parts about this is that it has become a better a hobby that in a way almost takes over a lot of stuff. I mean, I
Yeah, that's
I maybe aside from stream stuff for stuff I
yeah,
like have to watch for this show or that,
yeah,
I
uh,
basically don't watch much else besides YouTube. It's like, oh hey,
yeah,
oh, Midnight's Edge is on,
yeah,
or something else is on. There's always a live stream on. And I think it's become the new TV.
yeah. No, it is true. Same thing with me. I mostly just watch YouTube, and I watch movies and TV shows and just follow up some stuff. I'm trying to read more comics and stuff, but lately, it's been a little bit, after everything that's been happening around with comics and stuff, it killed my mood a little bit to read comics. But I'm getting back to it. I'm gonna read more. Me and Chris, my co-host on Beyond, we are gonna do the Star Wars show again. I know people have been waiting, but it's been scheduling stuff, and it's been a lot of stuff going behind the scenes, and working, scheduling, trying to make things work better. And I had to remove my original intros and stuff on the Beyond show, so
Oh right.
Yeah, I got a copy content ID thing just because I used some of the prequels and the ending that I used to use from the original trilogy, but they Disney fight me. I can't kick me off. But yeah, that's basically what I have up and what's going on lately on my like end of the world, like the side of my world. But yeah,
So as for myself, coming up tomorrow is of course the next episode of the Gundam Roundtable, where we're going into episode 20.
yeah.
I gotta get you on there sometime.
Yes, I
Even
know.
if I was just kind of throwing you in the deep end, like, here, come watch an
Yeah.
episode.
Just watch the episode we're gonna watch. Just talk about the episode. Yeah, I know. It's been, I've been watching so much other stuff and I've been doing so much behind the scenes. And but I will,
Because in a way, I almost miss that sort of era of like where you just kind of discover a show as it's on, and they're like, "Oh, this is episode 5 of a 25 episode season." Like, this wasn't too
it
bad of a show.
it was episode 20, right?
Yes,
Okay, I'm
and
gonna
there
watch.
are
I'm gonna watch it tomorrow.
43.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm gonna watch it tomorrow.
all right.
Just so I can be on the show.
Yeah, we'll have to. We'll talk after the show, but
Yeah.
I
But
better.
before we end, I just want to say I want to give a big thanks to Ironcaster for being such a fucking great guy and such an amazing person who likes to jerk off after Jason Momoa on my show. But that's another case. But I just want to
What
say,
is all this nonsense?
just
You're gonna make a video where this happens now. Apparently,
oh, you will see. I just want to say, just remember that life's too short and make the most of it. And I just want people in the chat and the people who will watch this later on. We love all of you, and all of you are fucking amazing. And just remember that if it wasn't for all of you, we would not have been here. You are making our lives and making this fellowship and friendship with everyone on YouTube. And you guys are making it so much better and lighter in the world. Even when it's so much negativity in the world, a lot of you guys are brightening up our world. So I just want to say a big thanks to that.
yeah, it's like you just gotta turn the media off for a while, or maybe just go watch a movie for a couple hours,
Yes.
read a book.
This is what this
As they
show is
say,
about.
touch grass.
But yeah.
Yep. I'll be posting what we'll be watching for next week, but
Yes.
that's
I'm excited.
coming up.